Hi, my name's Kevin Hicks. Welcome to my YouTube channel, The History Squad. Now, today's video, I'm going to recite a poem by the World War I poet Wilfred Owen, as requested by one of my subscribers. His handle is Someone Else. It's funny, isn't it? World War I poetry. I was given a book up the line to death when I was a kid at school. Read this poetry. Some of it meant something, but I'm not an academic. I'm not a university man. So poetry to me, it's the boy stood on the burning deck kind of thing. However, as I got more and more into World War I and the poetry, it reminded me of some of my times as a soldier when you saw something horrific or you were involved in an incident, violence, that kind of thing. How afterwards, when you're coming down to earth, you want to express how you feel, but our words were no good. We were just common soldiers. But we have this particular poet, this Wilfred Owen, who was a young man, never destined to be a soldier. He's plunged into World War I. And there's one or two things that I find moving. This Wilfred Owen, he's a young man. He was born in 1893 in Oswestry in Shropshire. His family weren't that well off. They couldn't afford to send their children to university. And I do know that he spent 15 months as a lay assistant to a vicar down in Dunsdon, near Reading, in the parish down there. But that gave him his ability to care for people, because he was doing a lot of that social welfare kind of stuff. And when he joins the army, first as a cadet for the Artist Rifles and ends with the Manchester Regiment, he's put into action in 1917 at the Battle of Beaumont Hamel. And it's a shock. Can you imagine that? Yeah, you go from your training and bang, your first day on duty with the regiment, you're actually in a battle. Well, it resulted in him getting what I think is called neurasthenia, shell shock. And he ended up in a hospital just outside of Edinburgh, where he met Siegfried Sassoon, famous war poet from the Royal Welsh Fusiliers. This was to change him. But instead of me going straight into one of his poems, I want to read you just a passage from a letter to his mother, because he obviously got on very well with his mother, because most of his letters that survived the war were to his mother. And this passage is when he's in Etaple. Now, Etaple is the training ground, the bull ring. When you come back off leave, you go through the regime of being I suppose, re-educated for the trenches. And what he says here, he says, but chiefly I thought of the very strange look on the faces in that camp. Incomprehensible look, which a man will never see in England, though war should be in England, nor can it be seen in any battle, but only in Etaple, only in that camp. It was not despair or terror. It was more terrible than terror. It was a blindfold look, and without expression, like a dead rabbit's eyes. It will never be painted, and no actor will ever seize it. And to describe it, I think I must go back with them. And he did go back with them. As he was crossing the St. Quentin Canal, he was shot just 1 week before the end of the war, 25 years of age. So the poem I've chosen is Dulce et Decorum Est. Now, please forgive me if I fail to pronounce words correctly. Don't forget, I'm not an academic. This poem is about a surprise gas attack as his troops are leaving the front line, and the result of when one of his men is wounded by gas. To me, this sums it all up, and also the lie, but I'll explain that at the end. Dulce et decorum est. Bent double like old beggars under sacks, knock-kneed, coughing like hags, we curse through the sludge, till on the haunting flares we turn our backs, and towards our distant rest begin to trudge. Men march asleep. Many had lost their boots, but limped on, blood-shod. All went lame, all blind, drunk with fatigue, deaf even to the hoots of gas shells dropping softly behind. Gas, gas! Quick, boys! An ecstasy of fumbling, fitting the clumsy helmets just in time. But someone still was yelling out and stumbling and floundering like a man in fire or lime. Dim through the misty panes and thick green light, as under a green sea, I saw him drowning. In all my dreams, before my helpless sight, he plunges at me, guttering, choking, drowning. If in some smothering dream you too could pace behind the wagon we flung him in, and watch with white eyes writhing in his face, his hanging face, like a devil's sick of sin, if you could hear at every jolt the blood come gargling from the froth-corrupted lungs, bitter as the cud, of vile incurable sores on innocent tongues, my friend, you would not tell with such high zest to children ardent for some desperate glory the old lie, Dulce et decorum est, pro patria mori. It is sweet and proper to die for one's country. Well, I hope you enjoyed that reading. It's a bit difficult for me as an old veteran here. I could feel his words reaching through from the Great War, really getting a grip of my heart. You can feel his pain and imagine what they went through. And yet we still haven't learned, have we? You know, the old lie, it is sweet and proper to die for one's country. Wars are still happening. But hey, if you enjoyed it, like, share and subscribe. And remember to turn on the notification button so you know what's coming down the line. But for now, cheerio.